and we're going to take a moment to tackle the brain drain debate. Is the grass always greener on the other side, or is it greener where you water it? Ha! And is leaving Jamaica for better opportunities abroad a necessity for survival, or is it a betrayal of the country's growth?
We have been disrespected for far too long. Yes. Governments, the John public, everyone believes that teachers don't have no sense.
We don't all want to migrate. We realize you want to frustrate. We realize you want to frustrate. We teach, we care, so give us our share. We teach, we care, so give us our share. We teach, we care, so give us our share.
For Jamaican nurses seeking better economic opportunities. And with the rising number of cases locally, the departure of nurses continues to hurt the local health sector. Dr. Christopher Tufton highlighted Jamaica's plight of nurse migration during the Commonwealth Health Ministers meeting in London this week. He called for the issue to be addressed on a global scale with some level of urgency.
Jamaica's biggest export is not what you might think. It's not sugar, it's not bauxite, and it's not marijuana. It's the most vital resource to any nation, the people. The very human capital needed to grow the country. Every year, thousands of skilled professionals, from teachers to nurses to engineers, leave Jamaica in search of better opportunities abroad. This constant exodus isn't just a statistic, it's a reflection of a nation struggling to hold on to its brightest minds. In fact, just last year, over 20% of Jamaica's skilled labour force left the island. That's 1 in 5 professionals gone, leaving critical sectors like healthcare and education fighting to stay afloat. But what drives this massive outflow of talent, and what does it mean for the country's future? Stick with this story, because it reveals much more than meets the eye. Jamaica finds itself in a unique predicament. It produces a wealth of highly skilled professionals, from world-class nurses to innovative engineers and brilliant teachers. These individuals graduate from institutions that are respected both regionally and internationally. Yet despite this abundance of talent, the opportunities within the country simply don't align with the skills available. Imagine a newly qualified teacher ready to inspire young minds, or a nurse eager to care for those in need. Both are met with low wages, limited resources, and an overwhelming workload. Faced with these conditions, many feel they have no choice but to leave, chasing better pay and working conditions abroad. This is not a decision made lightly, it's often a matter of survival for them and their families. The impact of this migration is felt deeply across Jamaica. Schools lose experienced teachers, leaving classrooms overcrowded and students underserved. Hospitals, already strained, lose nurses faster than they can be replaced, resulting in longer wait times for patients and increased pressure on the staff who remain. This isn't just about professionals leaving, it's about the ripple effects that touch every corner of society, creating a crisis in the very systems that people depend on for health, education, and growth. Before we dive deeper into the story, let me quickly ask for your support. If you're finding this video insightful and want to hear more stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Thriving Threads. It's a simple click, but it helps us create more valuable content for viewers like you. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep exploring this important issue. The numbers tell a stark story. In 2023 alone, reports show that nearly 1,000 teachers left Jamaica to work in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, the healthcare system has been hit just as hard, with hundreds of nurses migrating to countries offering better pay, improved working conditions, and more career opportunities. These aren't just any professionals, they're the backbone of Jamaica's public services. Teachers shape the future of the nation by educating the next generation, and nurses provide critical care for the sick and vulnerable. When these key workers leave, the gaps they create aren't easily filled. It's not just about finding replacements, it's about the loss of experience, passion, and institutional knowledge. And yet some argue that this phenomenon, while painful, is a necessary evil.
Good morning to you, my love. How are you doing today?
I am magnificent, and how are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. You're magnificent shows.
Very well, very well.
As a man who left, as a man who and that's it. Well, I'm not going to say you contributed to the brain drain, But
Uh-huh.
because you went and you saw opportunities and you made the most of them. Tell us where you sit on this issue as someone who you
You're
emigrated,
bright,
yeah,
and you leave.
You left.
Do you see yourself as a Judas or as somebody who's smart?
Betrayal of the country's growth, really? How do you see it, MPG?
I would see myself as a Judas if the opportunities that are offered to me abroad were afforded to me at home. I would see myself as a Judas if the opportunities that were offered to my special needs child abroad were offered to me at home, to her at home. When it comes on to the issue of brain drain, I think with overseas. But as you go deeper, you'll understand that the people's situations vary. And every single person who pack a bag and go on an aircraft and go abroad, their experience is almost like a fingerprint. When I tell you I have experiences for myself, 5 teachers teaching in the same school from Jamaica, and we are all walking 5 completely different journeys. It varies from person to person.
Yes.
It is not a betrayal. People are looking for better for themselves and their families.
Yes.
And you cannot blame people for that, because as animals, biology teacher now, survival mode and self-preservation is our natural instinct.
Jamaica's economy depends heavily on remittances, money sent back by those who leave. In fact, these remittances make up a significant portion of the nation's GDP, helping to sustain families and communities. For many skilled workers, the harsh reality is that there simply aren't enough jobs in Jamaica to match the high number of graduates being produced. From this perspective, migrating abroad becomes not just an option but a practical solution. But is this reliance on remittances sustainable in the long term? And at what cost does this short-term benefit come? That's just the beginning of the story. Keep watching, because up next we'll delve into how wage disparities and government policies are fueling this exodus, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. A significant factor driving this migration is the perception of unfair wages, particularly for those employed by the government. Teachers, nurses and other civil servants often feel undervalued, working tirelessly for salaries that barely cover the cost of living. This frustration was magnified earlier this year when the Jamaican government announced a massive salary increase for members of parliament, including those in both the ruling party and the opposition. The raise, seen as exorbitant by many, sparked outrage across the country. Civil servants already struggling to make ends meet viewed this as a slap in the face, not just to themselves, but to all Jamaicans who depend on public services. At the same time, it's worth noting that the government has taken steps to address broader wage issues. In addition to the controversial parliamentary pay raise, they also implemented salary increases across the board for civil servants and raised the national minimum wage. While these measures are steps in the right direction, they haven't been enough to stem the tide of skilled workers leaving the country. For many, the changes feel like too little, too late, especially when juxtaposed against the glaring disparities in how different sectors are treated. This is a story with layers, and we're just scratching the surface. Stick around, because coming up, we'll examine how these challenges are reshaping Jamaica's healthcare and education systems, and what this could mean for the country's long-term future. Jamaica's struggle to retain its skilled professionals goes beyond the immediate losses of teachers and nurses. It's a challenge that strikes at the heart of the country's economy, culture and social stability. When talent leaves, it's not just a matter of empty positions, it's a drain on innovation, productivity and the country's ability to compete globally. But what does this really mean for the nation, and is there a way to turn this crisis into an opportunity? Let's dive deeper into the implications and solutions, because this story is far from over.
Long hours, low pay. Those, among other issues, medical doctors continue to face. President of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, Dr. Mindy Fitzhenley, says this is causing growing frustration with some of her colleagues. Shamala Pullen has the details.
The average salary for a medical doctor in the public health system, such as interns, senior house officers, and medical officer from 1 to 3, is lower than $200,000 per month. These medical doctors often work 40 hours per week, but with COVID-19, these hours have been extended to at least 98 hours. President of the Medical Doctors Association, GMDA, Dr. Minda Fitz-Henley says the situation is even worse for medical doctors who work in the primary care settings who don't have duties or any additional source of income.
If you have even one child going to school, that would your salary would not be able to stretch. And another issue that we're having right now is that payments or deductions from our salaries are not being paid over to the institutions. So for example, persons, their mortgages, their car payments, all of those things, many persons are unfortunately in arrears right now with these institutions because the regions deduct it, but they're not paying it over.
In addition, they have student loans to pay. Dr. Fitz-Henley explains in medical school, these doctors have to pay in excess of $20,000 per year in tuition fees.
And you haven't spoken about any of our equipment that we need to purchase, the stethoscope or diagnostic kits, which cost upwards of $600, $700 US again.
The economic impact of Jamaica's brain drain is profound. Skilled workers are critical to the country's growth, driving sectors like healthcare, education and technology. When they leave, these industries stagnate and the economy struggles to expand. Without a strong foundation of skilled labour, local businesses find it harder to grow, foreign investors become wary, and the government is forced to spend more on patchwork solutions rather than long-term development. Take healthcare as an example. The loss of nurses means hospitals can't operate at full capacity, resulting in poorer health outcomes for the population. This, in turn, puts more pressure on the economy as productivity drops and public healthcare costs soar. But here's where it gets complicated. While the loss of talent is devastating, the remittances sent back by Jamaicans living abroad are a lifeline for the economy. In 2023, remittances accounted for nearly 20% of Jamaica's GDP, making it one of the largest contributors to the country's financial stability. This money helps families pay for education, healthcare and daily living expenses, effectively propping up the local economy. Some argue that in a country with limited job opportunities, allowing skilled workers to migrate and earn higher wages abroad makes practical sense. After all, if these professionals can't find meaningful employment at home, why not let them support their families from overseas? But this reliance on remittances is a double-edged sword. While it provides short-term relief, it also perpetuates the very conditions that drive people to leave in the first place. So the question remains, can Jamaica ever break free from this cycle? The social cost of this exodus is just as significant as the economic one. Families are often torn apart, with parents working abroad while children grow up in Jamaica. This separation can create emotional strain, impacting children's education and development. On a broader scale, the departure of so many talented individuals leaves communities without role models and leaders who could inspire the next generation. Then there's the cultural aspect. Jamaica's diaspora is vast, with estimates suggesting that more Jamaicans live outside the country than within it. This global community has played a huge role in spreading Jamaican culture worldwide, from reggae music to jerk cuisine. But while the diaspora's contributions are celebrated, their absence is deeply felt back home. And it's not just about losing skilled workers. Jamaica is now facing a troubling irony. To fill the gaps left by departing professionals, the country has started recruiting workers from abroad. In 2024, reports emerged of Jamaica hiring nurses from other countries to address the staffing crisis in its hospitals.
The wage, the salary that is also being paid, is not a livable salary. So while we have nurses and we are able to graduate up to 400, a percentage of those nurses who we graduate never never seek employment in Jamaica. They train here because we are sought after, and then they go and seek employment outside of Jamaica.
Madam President, sorry to jump in. I don't know if it's a fair question, but can you give me an idea of how much they would earn, say, in the United States, either in Jamaican dollars or US dollars, as opposed to what they earn in Jamaica?
The beginner nurse in Jamaica earns just about 500 US per month.
And in the States?
Just probably above that. Probably 500-600 US per month.
In Jamaica?
When you go to in Jamaica,
right?
When you go to the US, you can earn up to 4,000 and upward per month.
Hold on, tell me that again. So they earn 500 Jamaican in Jamaica.
Beginner nurse in Jamaica
and that same nurse goes to the United States and gets 4,000 US per month?
US per month. Ooh. And remember, the culture in US is that you can work 2 jobs, you can study part-time, you can work and study. That culture does not exist here.
And sorry again to jump in. And it would be for the same job? I mean, I know they're a nurse, but it would be for doing the same thing?
Registered nurse, level 1, yes.
500 as opposed to 4,000?
Yes.
Wow. Whew. By the way, you said it was the second most needed profession in the world. I think you said that?
It's in the top 5 most recruited professions in the world.
You know what's the first one?
I am not sure in what order they come, but I know that it is security, nursing, teachers, and they are in the top 5.
On one hand, this shows the global interconnectedness of the labour market. On the other, it raises ethical questions. How can a country struggling to retain its own talent justify bringing in workers from nations that might be facing similar challenges? It's a delicate balance, and one that highlights the complexity of brain drain in a globalized world. Despite these challenges, the Jamaican government has made some attempts to address the issue. In recent years, it has rolled out policies aimed at retaining skilled workers and encouraging members of the diaspora to return. For example, the Vision 2030 plan includes initiatives to improve job opportunities, increase wages, and foster innovation. There are also programs designed to attract investments from Jamaicans living abroad, with the hope that they will help create jobs and drive economic growth. However, the success of these efforts has been mixed. While they show promise, they often fall short of addressing the root causes of migration, such as low wages, high living costs, and limited career prospects. But this isn't just a government issue, it's a societal one. Private sector companies and NGOs also have a role to play. By investing in local industries, they can create jobs that keep talent in Jamaica. For instance, technology and remote work offer exciting opportunities for professionals to engage with the global economy while staying in the country. Imagine a future where a Jamaican software engineer can work for an international company without ever leaving the island. This would not only retain talent, but also position Jamaica as a hub for innovation and entrepreneurship. One of the most interesting possibilities lies in the concept of reverse brain drain. This is when countries successfully entice their diaspora to return, bringing back not just people but also the skills, experiences and networks they've gained abroad. Several nations have implemented programs to encourage this kind of migration, and Jamaica could follow suit. By offering incentives like tax breaks, housing assistance and investment opportunities, the country could potentially turn its diaspora into a powerful asset for growth and development. Still, solutions like these require a shift in perspective. It's not just about stopping people from leaving, it's about creating an environment where they want to stay. That means addressing systemic issues like wage inequality, improving public services, and ensuring that all Jamaicans have access to the resources they need to thrive. It's a tall order, but it's one that's essential if Jamaica is to overcome the challenges of brain drain. As we come to the end of this discussion, it's clear that there are no easy answers. Jamaica's brain drain is a complex issue with deep roots in the country's history, economy and society. It's a story of loss, but also one of potential. Potential to rethink priorities, rebuild systems, and reclaim the talent that has been slipping away for far too long. If anything, This crisis is a reminder of the importance of human capital and the need to nurture it, not just for the benefit of individuals, but for the future of the nation as a whole. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to ask for your support. If you found this video insightful and want to see more content like this, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe to Thriving Threads. Your engagement helps us create meaningful stories that bring attention to critical issues. Thank you for watching, and let's keep the conversation going. What do you think Jamaica can do to tackle brain drain? Share your thoughts below.